All right, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Angry Asian Uncle podcast. I am your host, Reynold, and sorry, my co-host Vic cannot be with us today, but he is with us in spirit. But today we have a guest, Mike. Mike, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, I can. My name is Mike Dahlstrom. I'm Swedish, native Swedish, so my English is not perfect. And I live in Spain at the moment. I've been working for 30 plus years as a chiropractor, and I've developed my own technique called chiropractic medicine, which is a combination of Eastern and Western medicine, where I blend the two together. And
Okay.
I work now down in Spain as a chiropractor, and I offer courses. I do retreats, those kind of things, and written two books about the subject of health that we're going to talk about today. One is about a book in general called The Future You. It's a book in general about health and how we become here. And the second book I wrote is called conscious parenting, which is about the child's brain's development and how the brain develops during different stages in the child's life. I was married. Well, I've actually been married twice, or divorced now. Got a couple of kids,
Okay. Kids
and
are
yeah.
always good. All right. Okay. All right. That sounds great. That sounds great. Wow. So you currently live in Spain. So what got you into so I wanted to go over your practice, your chiropractic practice before
Okay.
getting into the child development stuff. So what you got you into it? Because it's really chiropractor. I feel sometimes it's like you said is more Eastern, but you're mixing both. You know, you get trying to give the best of both worlds, right? The Western and the Eastern together. So what got you started in that?
Well, I played when I was younger. I was fairly fit. You can't see it now, but I used to be fairly fit. And I played both soccer and tennis in the US for 5 years.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
I injured myself playing soccer or football, as we call it. Uh, I busted my knee when I
Ooh,
was 21 or 22, something like that. And that was the end of my sports career. Well, I
oh,
wanted I
sorry to hear.
wanted a double I won a doubles tennis tournament after that, but I never came back to the soccer pitch again. And I played on the top level there in the US. So ever since then, I wanted to get back to sports,
Right,
but I didn't know how to get because sports was all I knew up to like 22. And I
right.
wanted to get back to sports, but I couldn't figure out what to do. So then I moved back to Sweden, and I hated coming back to Sweden because after living 5 years in the US,
Hmm.
between 20 and 25, go back to Sweden is kind of dull or boring. So
Right.
I took a job and I moved to Greece. After
Hmm.
Greece, I moved to Spain. Then I moved to Turkey with my girlfriend. And then we moved back to Denmark. That's
Wow.
well, where she came from. And then she started studying to become a massage therapist. This is 1994 now. So in 1994, she said, or 93, I, I want to become a massage therapist. And as soon as I saw her books, I realized this is what I want to do. I realized that I didn't really miss the game. I missed the community, the locker room
Hmm.
chat, the bantering and stuff in the locker room. So now I know a way back into sports by becoming a massage therapist. So I did that in
Okay.
1994.
Oh, okay. So that's where it all started. So
Yeah,
okay. So how do you sort of blend that Western and Eastern sort of ideals, I guess, in your
that is a question.
practice?
I understand the question, but that is something that is almost impossible to answer because I've been teaching for 15 years in England and Sweden and Spain and in India, for example. I've been teaching my own my own treatment form, chiropractic
Wow,
medicine.
that's
I've been teaching that for so many years, and not one single person that I've ever taught, and we're talking mostly chiropractors, massage therapists, and doctors, they have never heard or seen anything like this. So it's really hard to explain that. But okay, in general, I look for which meridian is imbalanced. So let's say that the liver uh, meridian is imbalanced. Now, if I was only doing acupuncture, I would do acupuncture on the liver meridian to open it up. But I use Western techniques to do the same. My philosophy is I want to find which meridian is not functioning, but I use Western techniques to open it up. So it's extremely difficult to explain in any simpler terms than that, because you have to see it to
Have
get
to
it.
see. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
not only see it. You have to be on the table, because if you're not on the table and you're just sitting next to the person there,
yeah,
you're gonna say, no, you're kidding me. No, no,
right.
because
Yeah,
this is something
yeah.
that you have to experience.
Oh, yeah, yeah, exactly. That's very interesting because yeah, being Asian, I only know the eastern part. You know, I do.
Yeah,
I've been on the table before with the acupuncture or
yeah,
the cupping and and all that. And so it's very interesting to hear about your sort of sort of infusing sort of Western techniques into it. Is there like any
yeah.
like example you can like just like a example like is it like a technique or is it like a or is it even
No,
just you?
I I during the years I've been doing this for 30 plus years now, and during the years I've been taking tons of courses. So I use, for example, dry needling. I use osteopathy. I use craniosacral technique. I use kinesiology. I use all those techniques in order to balance the meridian. So
Oh,
it's not just and chiropractic, of course. So
oh, I see.
for example, all meridian has to do with some sort of organ, for the liver, for example.
Right.
And with that meridian, uh, a certain numbers of vertebrae or nerves are involved as well. So let's say that you have the liver meridian, for example.
Yes.
Then we got C3 and C5 and T8. They all have to do with the liver meridian, either in
Hmm.
Chinese way or in Western way, either with the
Okay.
meridian or the Western organ, liver, for example, which is T8 nerve. So yeah, it took me years and years and years and years to develop this, trial and error, and I had to
Right.
pretend that I actually knew what I was doing.
Oh, right. You got to fake it till you make it, right?
I definitely faked it till I made it,
But you're on
but
the
for
other
some
side.
reason,
Yeah.
yeah,
Go ahead. Yeah. I said you're
yeah.
on the
So for
other
some
side. You
reason,
made it, right?
yeah, for some reason, people tend to trust me when I say, "No, listen, we'll sort this out."
Yeah.
And yeah, so I faked it till I made it. But they were all guinea pigs. I needed to learn something. I needed to test this, test that, test that. If I combine this and that, what happens?
Well, at least you came out on top, right? You
Yeah,
created a technique
yeah,
that works. Yeah.
yeah. Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
There's something called craniosacral technique.
Okay.
Craniosacral technique is a very very soft technique when you just the client just lie on the table, and
Right.
first I put my hand under the sacrum. You know what the sacrum is? It's like just below your spine.
Right. Oh yeah.
Just
Okay.
below your
Yes.
spine,
Yeah.
there's a triangular shaped bone called sacrum.
Right.
So basically, you just hold the sacrum and you
Okay.
just hold it. You don't move. You don't move at all. You just sit there and hold the sacrum. And
Uh-huh.
when I went to kinesiology school, we're talking 2002 or something like this now. So when I went there to kinesiology school, I sat there and I said, what is this crap? What am I doing? Remember, I was a massage therapist. I was a sports massage therapist,
Right.
and I worked as sports massage therapist. It's
Right.
like, listen, and they screamed because it was hard because I worked with top athletes, and
Right.
it was sports massage therapy, so it was really hard work. So and then I started chiropractic, which is like it's very square.
Right.
So then I sat there and just held the sacrum, and I didn't move. And I said, what is this? So I said, this is bullshit. This is
Right.
bullshit. I'm never going to do this.
Right.
And then first you hold the sacrum, and then you hold the cranium like this. You just hold the cranium. You don't even move. You just hold it.
Right.
And I said, what is this crap? So, but on my website, I posted that I treat post pregnancy pain. After childbirth, you can get a pelvic pain.
Right. Right.
So the mother then can have a lot of pain in her pelvis in the area.
Yes.
And so I wrote that on my website, and I didn't think any more about it. So 2 years later, this lady calls me and says,
Hmm.
"Oh, I can see on your website that you work with post pregnancy pain." I
Right.
said, "Yeah, I do. I never done it. I just, it said so in the manual that you do this technique, the craniosacral technique." I said, "Oh, so yeah, I do that." And she said her history was that 5 years ago she gave birth 5 years ago, and
Okay.
she's not in a wheelchair every day, but whenever she walks outside, she's in a
Right.
wheelchair because of the pain. She can only walk at 20 feet, 30 feet, and then she was in such pain, so she had to sit in a wheelchair. So
Right.
at home she
Yes.
can walk no problem. So her father drove her, and that morning I looked at my schedule and said, "Oh, I got that. Oh, I got that woman. Oh, she's driving in 1 hour to come to my clinic."
Right.
And I noticed, oh my gosh, she's got that post-pregnancy pain issue. I had
Right.
no clue how to do that. So I had to look through my paper real fast. And I saw, holy shit, it's the craniosacral one. Oh no. What am I? Oh no, poor girl. And that doesn't work. I know that's bullshit because I didn't do anything. I just sat there and held the sacrum and said, what the hell is this? And so but I didn't have the heart to tell her that because her dad brought her and she was so enthusiastic. Yes, finally somebody can help me. So she
Right.
thought I was Messiah's because I
Right.
could help her. And I didn't know, I had no clue what to do. So anyway, so she came and I pretended, yeah, I've seen this before. No worries. We'll sort you out. And I did, but it includes, it entails more than just holding the sacrum. You got to do some couple things before that as well, but I'm not going to go into that.
Right.
But the treatment itself is holding the sacrum and then holding the head, craniosacral treatment. So,
Oh,
so I pretended I knew what I was doing, and she seemed happy. So she
yeah.
seemed that she actually got some pain relief from it.
Right.
And so she was very happy with the session. And I thought to myself, Jesus, how am I going to tell this girl that I have no idea what I'm doing? So I just zipped it. I didn't say anything. So she
Yeah.
wanted to come back for the following Thursday. She wanted to come back,
Right.
and I didn't have the heart to say sorry, honey, but I had no idea what I was doing. It's like, yeah, sure, no problem. So she came back
Exactly.
next Thursday, and
Uh-huh.
I did the same, feeling like, oh my God. But she's like, oh, she was so happy. So what? Have you been feeling better? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was surprised. I couldn't act surprised. I had to act like, yeah, of course. But
Right.
I was so,
Yeah. I did it right. Of course. You're supposed to feel better,
I
right?
was I was so I was so surprised. And then by the third visit, she drove herself. So
Oh
she
my.
drove the car herself. Not her dad drove her, and she
Hmm.
hadn't used the wheelchair at all. And she was extremely happy. And I said, what maybe this shit works.
Yeah.
Maybe this works. I can't believe it works.
Yeah.
So after six or seven treatments, she was completely fine. No
Oh,
pain whatsoever. No pain whatsoever. And I know because I treated her and her child for maybe 5, 6 years after that as well.
oh wow.
So what then was craniosacral was was bullshit to start with. Now it's part of my first course. So
Wow.
it's so important now to me. It's actually part of my very first course. I teach this in my first, I got 10 different courses. And
Okay.
my first one is the one I teach this technique. So I had no idea what I was doing.
Oh, well, hey, well, it got you this far. So, hey, faking till you're making it, right? So,
Yeah,
but I'm very glad you figured it out because yeah, some of this stuff it's I feel so yeah when you first get introduced to it, even for myself, even my coaches, built on that. Um, I feel like when I first introduced to this type of treatment or healing process, I'm always like, oh, what is this? Like you said, yeah, what is this BS, right? This is like I what because I grew up in the United States, um, so I'm just used to hey, if I have pain, give me a painkiller, right? Give me some
yeah,
Tylenol, right, and some Motrin. Yeah, if it's really intense, give me something even some Vicodin or something, right? So some heavy dosage, right? And then what
yeah,
is this natural healing stuff or this
yeah,
all this stuff? It's like oh, it's like voodoo. It's like voodoo, I think, right?
yeah,
Back then, it's like oh, this is all voodoo. This is just like oh,
yeah,
people playing with our minds or something. But it,
yeah,
but if you get into it, it does work. It does help with pain, like things that. And then the things that you can see when you're saying, looking into the meridian and stuff like that, people can see, oh, okay, like, because for a long time growing up, I had like bad kidneys, and they could just feel it. Okay, what do they need to do? Without even going in for like a test, like blood test or something or doing a biopsy. They just like, oh, okay, they could sort of feel like, okay, something's wrong with your kidneys or something wrong with what's something, right? Yeah, like you said, the liver or something. Like, hey,
yeah,
and then they could go from there. But yeah, it's pretty. But when you first introduced to it, when you first, yeah, it's pretty BS when people think
yeah.
of it.
It is.
Yes, but hey, when
And,
it works,
and
when yeah,
but if
uh,
it works, my treatment doesn't work for everybody. For example, healing.
mm-hmm,
I don't do healing. And people say, so what are your opinion about healing? I said, I have no opinion about it. It works. If it works for one person, then it works. It might not work for everybody, but if it
right,
works for one person, then it works for that person. My
right,
treatment works for some people, not everybody. I mean, that's the same with everything,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, at least you're honest about that. Some chiropractors they just want people's money, and then they go, yeah, my treatment will cure you. It will, it's a one
Yeah,
size fit all for everyone, and then just come, just pay the bill, and then you'll be okay. And then
yeah,
you
that's
go
and
there,
that's
and you keep yeah, week after week, month after month, you keep paying the guy some money or the gal some
that's
money, and then
that's
you're like,
BS.
right, and they're like, hey, we're getting nowhere. It's like it's okay. You just gotta keep coming. You just gotta keep
Yeah,
coming. One time I was
no,
doing
no,
that. I
no,
was
no,
like, I think as we get over, I got like a lower pain. Oh, one time I had like sort of sciatica pain, right down this down. It
no.
was not like um. So I had this one chiropractor just like, yeah, just keep coming. He's doing all the like the cupping or and the stretching and stuff like that. And it's like I don't feel anything better. I feel like 0%, like 0% better. Like honestly, it was like I feel like I was getting worse. Like I'm sort of getting worse. Like, is this supposed to? No, it's supposed to get worse until you get better. It's like, are you sure? Yeah, just keep coming. Like okay,
Oh,
all right, just keep giving him a few $100 each visit. I'm like, hey, I'm not here, Mr. Moneybags here. So, but I do have pain. I need some relief, and I can't be taking like a Tylenol and Motrin all day long. I was popping pills for like the max amount of recommendations. Sometimes I go over, but I was like 2 pills every 4 hours. So I was like, I can't keep going on
horrible.
like this. But yeah, some people just say, yeah, just keep coming, I'll fix you. And then yeah, but long story short, that did not fix me. All I did was empty my wallet.
That sickens me. I know there's tons of chiropractors doing that out there. I call them pop and pray and walk away addicts. That's
Yeah,
all they just pop and pray and hope that you're going to be better, but they have no clue.
right.
You know, I I stay away from that shit. That is not me. And when I do a session, it's usually 45 minutes, and it includes a detailed analysis. Let me tell you. You talked about low back pain. Let me tell you my theory. My theory with this, because this is important. Uh,
Okay.
there's a root cause, and there's like symptoms. It's called symptoms. Symptoms are, for example, low back pain.
Yes.
So low back pain can be a lot of different things, a lot of different things. But try to follow me now. So you have something called a hip flexor.
Yes.
When you walk, there's a hip flexor that moves your legs forward. And you got
Yeah.
hip extensor. Okay, so you got hip flexor and hip extensor, just like you got a flexor and extensor.
Right. Okay.
This is a flexor as an extensor.
Okay.
So when you walk, you flex your hip when you engage, when you walk. And then when you push forward, you extend.
Yeah.
So you got a hip flexor and a hip extensor. Now, in a perfect world, they will be the same strength. If they have the same strength, they would be like this. But unfortunately, when we're born with the hip flexor is being 8 to 10 times stronger than the hip extensor. Hence, uh, our protection is like rolling up like a little ball, the fetal position. So when we're born, we're maybe 8 times stronger in our hip flexor than we are in our hip extensors at birth. And during childhood, we play, we run, we do everything forward. And in our adulthood, we sit a lot. So the hip flexor starts at the five last vertebrae, and it goes down to your femur bone.
Okay.
Your thigh bone.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. So this is important. It starts on the five last vertebrae, and it goes down to your hip, to your femur bone. So when you flex it, the leg goes like this. So this is important. What happens is that, let's say that I'm going to arm wrestle some young girl. So I'm going to be like this. Come on. And she's going to, she's like this, right? So she got two options. Either she goes, okay, you win, or she does this and starts helping, pulling like this. After 30 seconds, she's going to say, oh my God, my shoulder's killing me. And I say, but listen, there's nothing wrong with your shoulder. The problem is that your shoulder's doing something it's not supposed to do. The shoulder's not supposed to help like this. So she's going to complain about that. So let's go back to the pain. So the lower back. This is the hip flexors. This is the hip extensors. So the hip flexor can walk and walk and walk for hours because it's very strong and short. But the hip extensors, they can't do it. They can't do it. So what they have to do after a while, they have to call in their helpers. So they have to call in they have to call in helpers. Synergist is called in my language. So they have to call in their synergists, their helpers. That is the glute med, which is on the side of your pelvis, on your hip. The muscles that are on the side there, they're called the glute medius. Their main objective is to keep the pelvis straight. When you walk, it's supposed to be straight. If it's too weak, your spine will start wobbling like this. So they have to be called in because your hip extensor is called the glute max. Glute max is in charge of the extension. But if that's too weak, it's going to call in its little brother called glute med, and glute med has to help the glute max to do the work, but it's not supposed to do that. So that becomes weak, and then you all of a sudden you start to wobble when you walk, and then that means that's going to put strain on your knees because this is the femur bone. So if this goes down, it sinks down when you walk. It's going to become pressure here on your knee as well. So, and another muscle that has to help are the quadratus lumborum and rectus spina, which is our muscles that are in the lower part of your back. So you got your rib cage here. So your rib cage is protecting the spine, but below the rib cage, you got 5 vertebrae that are not connected to any rib cage. They are protected by quadratus lumborum and erector spinae muscles that are supposed to protect them. But they also have to help the glute max to extend. So now the glute max is too weak. The glute medius is too weak. The quadratus lumborum and erector spinae are too weak, and they're supposed to protect the spine. So
Right.
if you go to a chiropractor and he adjusts the vertebra, that does not correct the imbalance between the hip flexor and hip extensor.
Oh,
So in
okay.
order for you to become completely pain-free forever, then you
Uh,
have to fix the connection between the hip flexor and hip extensor. Because if that imbalance keeps going, it keeps being like this, and he pops and pray, and oh yes, feel much better. It's still the same shit. That does not take care of the issue between the muscles.
oh, okay. All
Was
right.
that too complicated?
Yeah, it's a little complicated, a lot of terminology, and
Yeah.
plus, I like I said, I'm vision impaired, so I couldn't see all the visuals but hopefully our audience can see all the
Okay, yeah.
visuals you're providing. But well, how about in layman's term, in simple man's term, what do we do? Okay, so I know as a chiropractor, you know what to do, but what should we do at home? What like what's is there any like simple exercises? Is something where we could do some simple exercises at home and to help with our with help with this up strengthen some muscles so that so our body's more prepared for this, so it's not always in pain and stuff like that, or is it just gotta go keep seeing a chiropractor?
No, 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 no. To go see a chiropractor is not going to help in this case at all.
Okay.
Sorry about that, my colleagues, but I, I think most chiropractors are doing it wrong. So end of story.
Okay.
I know I have a lot of friends of chiropractors, and I don't like the way they practice because I don't think this is helping people.
Uh-huh.
They're making a shitload of money. I don't make money at all because I take too long. I don't charge enough. They take
Right.
they take 60 euros or 70 euros for 5, 10 minutes.
Oh,
I
that's
charge
pretty
I
good
charge
money.
50 euros for 45 minutes. So imagine I don't make any money, but I didn't enter this profession to become a millionaire either. I entered it to help people. So
All
actually,
right,
I
good.
entered it.
Yeah.
I entered the field to be a part of the sporting community. So I never entered the field to make money. I wanted to be in that sporting community, and I've done all right with that. I've taught Manchester City and Everton, for example.
Okay.
I know. Okay,
Oh,
so but the question was, what can a client do themselves?
yeah.
First of all, you need to find somebody that can help you and teach you how to stretch the hip flexor. Because stretching
Okay.
the hip flexor, because the hip flexor is shortened on 99.9997% at
Okay.
least. And since it starts its origins at the last five vertebrae,
Hmm.
so if you stretch that every day, you have to do it in a very specific technique. So it's hard to explain, but find somebody that can teach you how to properly stretch the hip flexor. And trust me, when you do this, you will feel pain when you stretch it. If you don't
Okay.
feel pain when you stretch the hip flexors, you're doing something wrong.
All right.
And for you people out there that know a little bit more, what you have to do is you have to tilt the pelvis back. When you stretch, everybody knows how to stretch the hip flexor. You just on one knee and you go forward with the other one. So,
Right.
but that if you have one knee on the floor and you want to
Hmm.
stretch the hip flexor, you can find videos online how to do it, no problem. But the key that you have to do that is not included in any videos that I've seen ever. That is when you start, you have to tilt your pelvis back. So you have to
Yeah.
tilt the pelvis back. So you basically, let's say that you have a belt on. What you want to do
Right.
is you want to tilt the pelvis so the belt comes closer to your umbilical, to your belly button. Not push it forward. Tilt it like that. And
Yeah.
in the up tilt, then you start to stretch. If you do that, you're going to feel a lot of pain in your upper thigh. Then you know you're doing it correctly. If you don't feel any pain, there's no use wasting that time. So you have to tilt the pelvis. This is for people that can see the video and
Yeah.
do it. but tilt the pelvis first. This is the crucial part. Tilt the pelvis and then move forward, and keep that tilt the whole time. Keep the up tilt there, the back tilt, whatever you call that, the whole time, and stretch it for like 30 seconds, and do that a couple times a day. And you can do it on a chair, and we're waiting for the tea to boil, for the coffee to be done. Then you can stretch it, and do that 3-4 times a day, and your lower back pain will soon be a history.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, all right. So hopefully our audience, our listeners can learn something here. Yeah, because as we age, I mean, as us uncles age,
Yeah,
we that's what we get. We get some lower back pains, even just from bending down, just picking up a t-shirt or something, and then the back goes out. So okay, definitely trying to learn these, pick up these exercises, do them every day. So yeah, hopefully
yeah.
we can maintain our back
That
back
that's
health.
one thing you have to do, is to stretch that, and you also have to work out your glutes. That can be
Okay,
lunges, or stuff like that. Just work out your glutes, because
work out
in
the
in,
glutes.
in 20-year-old guy,
Yes.
you're gonna see, like, I'm going to show this on camera now. This is your glutes. This is your glute muscle, and there's a clear definition between the glute muscles and the hamstring. This is called the gluteal cleft, or whatever, something in English. I don't know. Well, in a
Oh,
20-year-old guy who's got a round butt, and got a
right.
clear gluteal cleft between the glute maximus and the hamstrings. So when the same guy turns 40, it's just hanging there. It's a hanging
Okay.
ass syndrome, it's called. I call it hanging ass syndrome.
Good.
You basically can't see that gluteal cleft anymore. You just see something, and you don't know where the ass starts and ends, and the
Right.
hamstring starts, because it all blends into one. Because the
Ah,
glute max has lost all its power, and it's just
okay.
not round and fit anymore. It's just hanging ass syndrome.
Yes. Oh man. Oh, this is good. Okay, so we got to work out the butt. Basically, even us guys, right? Because the girls
Oh,
always
for
like,
sure.
yeah, because that's something we think all the girls do, right? Work out the butt. I guess so. We men have to work
Eh,
out the butt too. Right?
oh, we do, huh? We do. Otherwise, you're going to be in pain, brother.
All right, all right. I got to remember. So I got to do the stretches, and then I got to do the butt exercises. All right.
Exactly. If you do that a couple times a week, stretching should be done every day.
Yes.
Whenever you have like 5 minutes, or sorry, we have 30 seconds or 1 minute left in your very busy day. If you
Yes.
just stretch those hip flexors a couple times a day, because the muscle is like a rubber band. You can't just, if you want to elongate the rubber band, you can't just do it on Monday and every second Thursday. You have to do
Oh,
it every day.
every day.
So,
Okay.
yeah. And
It's
listen, when we're
yes.
stressed, and we stress all the time,
Oh yeah. Of
as
course we're
uncles, we
stressed.
stress all the time.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
when we stress, we're going to go into protection.
Right.
When we're offended at work, or somebody at work is yelling at us, we can't just crawl up in the fetal position and lay on the floor. But these
We
muscles
can't.
are still getting activated. The
Right.
muscles, the hip flexors, and the pec muscles up here get activated anyway. So we go into protection. So
Oh, okay.
even though we don't even work out and work and exercise the hip flexor, we still
Yes.
sit, and in a sitting position, that hip flexor is going to be shortened, and then we stress. So it's going to be really tight. So you have to stretch every single day. You can. This is something like brushing your teeth. You can't just brush your teeth on Mondays and Thursdays. You have to
Right.
brush your teeth every day.
Okay. All right. So we got homework to do. We got to do it every single
Yeah,
day. All
yeah.
right. We got
So
to
now I'm going
stretch
to get a
every
lot, a
single
lot of
day.
angry mails now.
What about you were saying stress, right? How can we relieve
Yeah.
stress then? That's
Oh, stress is not something that you actually really can relieve, because that's something that we perceive.
oh, I see.
That's how we perceive a certain situation, and that, well, in order to sort that out, you need to see a therapist that can do that, and that is not going to be chiropractor. So don't even go to chiropractor when it comes to that.
Okay.
No,
All right. So that's a whole
that
different ballpark. That's a whole different field.
yeah, it's the whole different ballpark. What I do it, but that's because I know how to do it. But a normal chiropractor does not know how to deal with that. and it has nothing to do with your vertebra. So there's no popping and praying and hoping that if you fix the C5, you're going to de-stress. No.
No, okay. Okay. All right. That's good to know. That's good to know. So yeah, that's the whole thing. Yeah, get false information, right? We
Well,
want to learn the
do
real
you,
information.
do you remember I told you about that? There's a domino. There's a
Yes.
domino effect. The first domino is going to hit the second domino, and the second is going to hit the third. And eventually
Yes.
they say that the 10th domino is your lower back pain.
Oh,
So what you have to figure out is what happened in the first domino. Now you're touching on a subject that is really, really, really important: the stress.
right.
Let me give you a little metaphor so you can understand more. Not you, but somebody out there maybe really can relate to this. Let's say that you have a beautiful dog,
Okay.
a little Shetland sheepdog. You know what a Shetland sheepdog is?
Sort of. Yes.
Well,
I can
a
picture. I
smaller
can try to
dog,
picture. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
any small dog that you have. That
Yes.
small dog is you love her. She's called Daisy. So Daisy is the love of your life. She's a small little dog that you love, and she
Yeah.
always jumps up in the couch. She's always with you. She's always like being around, and she's just joyful. So
Right.
then one day you decide to buy a townhouse. So you move into a townhouse, and you let Daisy out on the front yard, which is
Hmm.
fenced in, of course. So it's fenced
Right.
in yard. So Daisy goes out in the front yard, and you close the door, and you just let her do her stuff in the front yard. So on the other side of the fence, there's a snarling pit bull, an angry pit bull, who's
Oh,
standing there to Daisy.
right.
So what do you think Daisy's going to do? She's going to become scared, right?
Scared. Yeah.
So she's
Scared.
going to put her tail. She's going to put her tail between her legs and her head
Right.
down.
Yes.
So a couple months later, Daisy is not jumping up in the couch anymore. So you have to lift her up, and then when you
Right.
pet her, you come to her lower back, and she reacts, "Ow!" And you realize, shit, Daisy has a low back pain. Oh God! So what are you going to do? So you go to a normal doctor, and he taps, he checks for the nerves, and
Right.
he just does his bullshit examination of a lower back,
Right.
and he says, well, Daisy's got low back pain, so he's gonna prescribe three things. First of
Right.
all, an X-ray, and then painkillers, and then to
Right.
go see a physio.
Sounds familiar.
So, so after 3-4 months of physio, Daisy's no better in her back. She still has low back pain. So
Right.
then a neighbor comes and hears about Daisy and says, "Listen, I know a dog chiropractor. He can help her."
Right.
So you just think, dog chiropractor, really? So anyway, yeah, but Daisy's still in pain. So you just, okay, I'm going to go. So you
Right.
go and see the dog chiropractor, and it puts her up on a table, a very small table, because he specializes in small dogs.
Right.
And he does his stuff, pop and pray. All of a sudden, Daisy jumps up, and she's talking. She says, "Oh, she's so happy," and you
Right.
think, "Thank God, Daisy's back."
Right.
The question is this: why was Daisy in the pain in the first place? Was it because she fell off a bike when she was 10? Was it because she didn't like living in there? Or was it because how she interpreted that pit bull? The answer is
See?
because how she interpreted the pit bull, she's going to put her tail between her leg. Just because she perceives that pit bull to be angry and to be threatening to her. So
Okay.
if she perceives that pit bull to be threatening to her, she's going to put her tail between her leg and walk around like that, scared for months. All of a sudden, the symptom will come. The symptom will come, which is low back pain. So let's
Okay.
say that we go to a human being now. Let's call her Marie. So
Right.
Marie is she's at work, and she feels that she's not appreciated there. All the co-workers laugh, and sometimes she even feels that they're laughing at her. She doesn't feel comfortable there. She's going to put her tail between her legs. She's going to walk around scared, and 6 months later, she's going to have low back pain because she interprets or perceives her co-workers in a certain way. Not necessarily true. Maybe that pit bull just wanted to play. The pit bull might just wanted Daisy to play, but Daisy perceived the pit bull to be threatening. So it all has to do with how we perceive things, not the way that they are in real life.
Oh, I see. So what if, okay, so is the action, so my question here, okay, uh, is is it, so when Daisy doing that action of, the tail in between the leg and then curling up, let's say she's still scared of the pit bull, but she doesn't do that. She just stands straight.
Well, if she doesn't do anything about it, the pain's going to come, and when the
Still
pain's
gonna
going to
come?
come, the pain's going to come because she puts her tail between her leg and she walks around scared, hunched down like this because she doesn't know when that pit bull's going to be around the corner. She's going to be scared, and her stress
Oh.
level is going to go up. So when the
No,
stress level is
I'm
going to
trying to
go up,
say, well, I'm trying to say is, I'm asking this question is, what if Daisy doesn't do that? As in, she's still scared, but she doesn't put her, she doesn't hunch down. She doesn't put her tail. She walks around normally, but scared. And because I'm asking this is it possible that is it, because stress, fear, provides a catalyst to a reaction, right? So, but then what if we separate the emotions from the action? So if you're still walking around scared, so as a human being, I'm walking around scared, but I don't go into a fetal position every time. I'm just walking out scared. Some pit bull comes around the corner. I'm still scared, but I'm still upright, right? Versus I curl
yeah,
up into a fetal position, right? So
okay.
if I don't have that, was it physical body reaction of going to fetal position, I technically wouldn't have that pain or still have that pain because although I still feel fear, right?
Yeah,
I'm trying to play devil's advocate. So if I have the
yeah, yeah,
fear,
yeah.
but I
No
don't,
problem.
right? If I don't do the sort of physical body action of curling up, then technically would I still have the pain, or I would I would
Uh,
still get by without having the pain. Just but of course I'm still scared, right? I'm still scared. Emotionally I'm still feeling the fear and the anger or whatever it is, the feeling, but I'm just my body. Say I'm a weird person, right? I'm a weird person. When someone scares me, I stand up straight, versus curl up, right? I'm sort of have this opposite reaction. Let's say
yeah.
I'm that type of creature. So is that, would then I still have that domino effect? Would I still get into being having the lower back problem, or would I escape that because of my weird reaction?
Well, there are two answers to this.
Yes.
First, the physical one. Let's start with the physical reaction.
Okay.
So, have you ever been to a doctor when he uses hammers and he hits you just below your kneecap
Uh,
and your
no,
leg shoots out?
I got that done that once. I got done that once, but
Okay, so but
yeah,
and your leg shoots out. It's
yeah, yeah,
you know that's a reflex.
yes,
That's a reflex, right? So if
yes.
it hits a hammer, it just below your knee, your leg will kick out. It's a
Okay.
reflex. So in when it comes to the body, we run on different programs.
Yes.
Uh, so in when we perceive something to be stressful, whether or not we crumble up or not,
Right.
uh, certain muscles are going to be activated during stress.
I see. Okay.
So the muscles will activate whether or not you perceive them as being well, if you perceive something to be threatening, but you don't react to it, but you stand up, it doesn't matter because your body will still activate the same muscles because it's a program. And
Okay.
your hip flexors and your pec major muscles up here, they are going to be activated. And you can still walk upright, no problem like that. But eventually you're going to start to feel like tiredness in your lower back and you don't really know why. So go to the gym and you work out and you just strengthen your back. And when you do that, your back is going to feel a little bit better. if you keep working out. But then when you stop working out, it's going to come back. So you're going to feel like you have to go to the gym all the time to keep strengthening the back, because if you don't, the lower back's going to come. So eventually you will get lower back pain with this as well. But in that said, every person is different. So some people might experience lower back pain. Some other people might get migraine or shoulder pains. It all depends on our weakest spots. Sometimes we have the weakest spot is the head, and then we get headaches and stuff like that. And someone usually it's lower back, but it can be a knee pain and can be anything, any pain, but not necessarily on everybody's going to come back as low back pain. But you will activate the muscles whether or not you like it or not. That's
Okay.
that's one thing. That's a physical reaction. So let's go to let's go to the chemical reaction instead.
Okay.
So when you stress or perceive something as being threatening, your body's going to produce different hormones. It always does. However you perceive a situation, your body's going to create different hormones. If you feel sexually attracted to somebody, the body's going to release sexual attraction hormones. Right. If you feel happy, it's going to produce endorphins. It's going to make you feel happy. And if you perceive something as stress, your body's going to produce stress hormones, adrenaline, noradrenaline, for example, cortisol, not cortisol. So, or epinephrine. Oh yes, it's adrenaline and noradrenaline and cortisol. Those are the three major stress hormones. So what these do to your body, the adrenaline will contract the heart. The noradrenaline will contract the veins and the arteries. Both of them are going to put stress on your heart. So it means your heart has to pump faster, has to pump harder in order to pump the same amount of blood. So in combination, adrenaline and noradrenaline will constrict the heart and make the heart has to pump harder. So blood pressure is going to go up. Now we're not talking 3 days or 3 months. We're talking maybe 10 years later on. Mm. And another thing that adrenaline and noradrenaline does is it constricts the spleen.
The spleen.
Yeah, the spleen. I have to think about if that's the correct word in English. Yeah, spleen. So the spleen is, I think it's called spleen in English. I can't remember now because I haven't spoken about this in many years because I haven't had a course. I haven't had a course since COVID came because everything dropped after COVID. I think it's called spleen in English. So the spleen is basically, out here in society we have police. We have police, and the police has to go to a certain school, the police school.
Right.
So your blood cells has to get when the blood cells are created, or they have no education, so they have to go to school to become immune system, become T cells and B cells. So they have to go to school to get educated to become B cells or T cells, which is your immune system. So that happens. That school is in the spleen. So if the spleen does not work, it cannot produce good cops in your body, your immune system. So your B cells and T cells are not going to be good enough. So it means you lower your immune system as well, just because you perceive something there. Again, we're talking years now, not months. This is the long-term effect. Okay, I'm sorry if I get too, for me, this is so simple. So I try to explain it as simple as I can.
Okay. So yeah, I'm trying to.
It's a big question, and I can go on about this for 45 minutes more, but I guess we have to talk about other things as well.
Right. Yeah. Yes. So to simplify it is basically what you think about.
I think the picture froze. There you are. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I'm
sorry,
saying
the picture froze for a second. I didn't hear.
Oh, okay. No. I said, maybe I was just sitting very still. No. Okay. But I guess it's just very concentrated in what you're saying. But I guess So to sum it up for this idea for to simplify it, basically is it all starts with the mind, right? I guess all ailments sort of you're saying like the domino effect. You're saying the pain comes from us domino number 10, but in the very top first few dominoes is all sort of emotion mentally sort of,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. That's how we perceive life or
Okay.
people,
How we perceive.
ourselves.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So stop being scared. Just be happy, right?
exactly.
Yeah, okay. That's a good one. How about do you believe in meditation? Because I know I don't know. What Western people sometimes believe in it or not. But what about I know it's not along the lines of field of uh, uh, chiro chiropractic practice, but some people to control their emotions and stuff. They said or sort of to get calm, less stress. Some people say, meditate, to get their um, mind in balance or something. So is that something you believe in or?
For sure. For sure. Well, what happens in meditation is that normally, let's say that when we're awake, we're working on alpha and beta brain waves.
Right.
So let's say that during your awakened state, if you're good, you have about 13, 14 hertz. But if you
Right.
stress, you're up to 18, 20 hertz per average per day. So in
Uh,
meditation, you will lower the brain wave to come down closer to the delta brain wave, which is about 8 hertz. So during meditation, if you don't have to do it, you can get your brain waves down to maybe 9, 10 hertz,
mhm.
and that's very beneficial for you. So yes,
Okay.
I believe that meditation works like yoga works.
Yoga.
You have to do it regularly. You can't just do it on Monday and Thursday. You have to do it regularly. But if you do it regularly and you become aware of your breathing is also very important. So when you
Uh-huh.
meditate, you have to breathe properly, and then you can lower your brain waves down to maybe 8, 9 hertz. When you come to 8, that's when you dose off. You dose off a little bit, and this is right between awake and sleeping state at 8
Oh,
hertz.
okay.
So if you come down all the way to 8 hertz, you're going to feel like you're dosing off, or you lose track of time.
Okay.
That's a perfect level to be. But if
That's
if you can
perfect.
come down to maybe 9 or 10, that's fine. But it's much less than 18.
Okay.
So
All right.
meditation works really good.
Meditation. So another homework assignment to do every day, right?
Yes,
Meditate. How long do you think we need to meditate for each day? Is it a
I think that depends on the person to person. But
person? Okay.
my problem is that I can't meditate because I fall asleep every damn time. If I lay down to
Okay.
meditate
Yes.
and I listen to something,
Right.
10 minutes later,
All
I'm
right.
snoring.
Oh yeah,
I'm
I
snoring.
understand. Yes. Oh man,
So
I totally
I
understand
have
that.
never,
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
never meditated 20 minutes because I always sleep after 5, 10 minutes.
Right. Or maybe just meditate for a 1 minute or something, 30
Yeah,
seconds,
yeah.
right? Just like a quick one.
You need at least 20 minutes to get the brain waves to come down.
Oh,
But
okay.
they,
At least 20
but they,
minutes. Okay.
yeah, but it's important that when you meditate, you try to focus on your breathing and not focus on what you have to do tonight. Oh yeah, I forgot to do that. All right, damn, I got to call him. Yeah, you
Right.
have to. Your
Exactly.
mind has to be here as well, here and now. Just focus on the breathing,
Hmm.
maybe the wind or the sun, whatever is right now.
Right.
Not focusing about, oh shit, I have to do that. Oh, I forgot to do that. Oh, what
Right.
is she gonna say now? What's she gonna do now? Oh no.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. You got to calm your mind, right? So, man,
Yeah.
that's really hard, especially yeah. Let's get into the other topic. Another stressor, kids. I mean, so you wrote so your other expertise when you said regarding is it just child development or taking care of kids? What exactly was there a book about?
The book is about how we parents influence our kids.
Oh,
How, like for example, what you sow in the springtime, you will reap in the fall. So if you sow
uh,
seeds, bad seeds, you will get bad shit in the fall. Uh,
Okay.
so the book is not about raising kids. It's not about
I was
right
not.
or
Okay.
wrong. It's about educating parents to understand that what we plant in our kids will affect our children later in life, and they will become that what we plant. So it's very,
Okay.
very, very important, the seeds that we plant. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
Uh, Say Sarah, 4 years old. She's in kindergarten, and she's spending the whole afternoon making a drawing for her mom. So then when mom comes and picks her up, she's a little bit stressed. So when little Sarah's going to show mom her painting, mom is
Yes.
stressed. Oh, that's beautiful, honey. But listen, I just got to do this. She go to your room and play a little bit, and I'll be up there when I'm done. She's not quite done with work, and she's stressed.
Right.
So Sarah goes up to the room, and she thinks that, oh, that painting was not good enough. Mom wasn't happy.
All right.
Sarah doesn't know what stress is. She has to know that mom has things to do as well. Sarah's 4 years old. She just wants
Right.
to make her mom happy. So she figures out, oh, mom is not happy. So she makes another drawing. So this time, after 30 minutes, the mom comes up and she's feeling like, oh, guilty now. So she comes up and sits with Sarah. She looks at the new painting and, oh, Sarah, this is so beautiful. This is so good. So now Sarah has learned a very important lesson. If she does it even better, then mom is going to be happy. So she's 4 years old. She's gonna build this seed that was planted. She's gonna water it. It's gonna come sun. It's gonna water. All of a sudden, that seed has taken root. So now, when
Yes.
Sarah's 40. She just finished a task, and everybody's applauding her. Good work, Sarah. But
Hmm.
inside, she knew I could have done it better. So she's going to go all her life. She's going to go chasing to do it a little bit better. Just because a seed was planted in her brain at 4 that mommy didn't like the painting, she could do it better. This is one example that the mother didn't know this was going to happen to Sarah because she wasn't aware of it. So the book and what I teach there is how parents can be I'm looking for the right word. Aware. It's called aware.
Where?
What they do, and what they act and what they say will put a seed in the child's brain, and that will
Yes.
they will later on go on that. Where there's need for control, for example, let's take another example. Let's call her Sarah again. So Sarah's now five
Right.
years old. The father goes drinking, and he goes drinking in the basement.
Oh.
Sarah has no clue what that is. She
Right.
just knows that when dad comes up from the basement, he smells funny, but he's always happy. She has no idea what alcohol is.
Right.
So, but Sarah's mom, she's very aware of what dad is doing down there. He's drinking, and she does not like that he's drinking so much.
Right.
So Sarah and the mom is upstairs. Dad is down drinking. So mom is building up an aggression. She knows he's drinking, and she's crazy about it. So
I
Sarah
see.
can feel that tension in the room. Sarah can
Right.
feel the energy in the room.
Okay.
And she knows mom is going to be unhappy when daddy comes up.
Right.
So then Sarah tries to be a clown or try to distract mother. And then if she succeeds, then the mother's happy and the dad comes up, and everybody's laughing, having fun. So
Right.
Sarah now has learned another valuable lesson. Uh, if she can control the situation, mommy is happy. So she's gonna become better and better at doing that. And then when she's 30, 40 years old, she's got a need for control, because if she's in charge of everything, everybody's happy and mom is happy.
Right.
So
Okay.
whatever seed are planted in the child's brain, those are the programs that we're going to go on later. So that's what the book is about.
I see.
In
So it's
in,
all
in
about
more details than this.
in more details. Yeah, because we actually talk about this in some of our past episodes where us parents or our parents pass on their sort of generational trauma or generational things that they have dealt with
Correct.
to us, and then
Correct.
as parents right now, we pass on what we whatever is happiness or stress or anger, whatever, we pass it on to our kids. That trauma just keeps on being passed down. Just like for the example in an Asian community, we always joke about it's very competitive. Like we're always being compared. Well, if Johnny got 100, did I get 100?
Yeah.
Did Sarah if Sarah got straight A's, did I get straight A's? If Jimmy went to the top university in the U.S., what university did I go to, right? And then and it comes and this all this stuff came, which makes sense. What you said, it starts at a very young age. It's the seed planting goes at a young age. Even in
Yeah.
elementary school, were we the best colorer, right? Did we get the best scores at the spelling, the spelling test, and it's really things that we and it, usually for Asians it's mostly academic or maybe music. Or she did Sarah rank, get first place in the piano competition or whatever, right? It's funny how it usually in the past it hasn't been sports related, but it's always been like that. So like for us, our seed, the seed that was planted in us is always we got to be the best.
Yeah.
Like if we're not the best, mommy and daddy are not happy, and we carry that seed and it keeps sprouting until when we get to high school, we need to again be the best, get the straight A's, get to college, we need to go to the best college, and then it goes to the career and it becomes a lot of pressure, and we goes back around, circle back around, it becomes stress, right? So
Yeah.
the stress that comes about, and then suddenly we getting lower back pain, right? So I feel like it's a whole circle thing. It just comes back around because um, and maybe it's something that we can see as parents, like maybe that seed that we planted of just like oh, do the best or be the best in your first grade class ends up to be down the road, like many 20, 30 years later, 40 years later, I'm in my 40s, so it's like 40 years later, it becomes my, you know so subconsciously my lower back problem issue, right? Or am I extending
Well,
myself too much here of my
no, no, no,
thoughts?
no, 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 not at all. I
Yeah,
mean, I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah,
And so yeah, so this book is for parents that are either expecting a child or has had a child, and they're not the child is not three yet, because
right.
the main uh, the main impact you have on a child is between 0 and 6, actually between 1 and 6.
1 and 6.
One and
Okay.
six. For example, just a small thing. You know, before there was something called an iPhone.
Yeah.
The mother took the stroller and the kid was facing her.
Uh-huh.
So there's an interaction between the child and the mother. The
Yes.
child can see the mother's face and reflects to it. Nowadays, you turn around and you face the kid forward because the mother wants to go and look at her phone. So
Yeah,
the
right.
child is not connected to the mom anymore.
Oh, wow.
Just this is a very it seems like that's not significant at all. Yes, it is.
Right.
Or the child is facing the mother, but the mother's going looking at her phone, and the child is
Right.
not getting the connection.
Oh,
Small,
wow.
small, small details, but immensely profound. And it's going to put a strain to their relationship because the child cannot really connect to the mother.
Yeah,
And
that's
that
right. Yeah.
then eventually 15 years later, when that child is 16 or 15, they're not going to be very friendly. They're going to be like, hey, I've been on that because the child never got the connection that it should have had.
Yeah. Then you develop like mommy and daddy issues, right? You seek attention from
Either
other
you're very
people that
still
you
again,
shouldn't
or
be,
or
right?
the
Yeah.
picture froze.
Oh, okay. See, again, I'm in a deep thought. But I was just saying, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a sort of a issue all the time. I think right now, even society right now in both directions, kids are stuck to their phones, parents are stuck to their phones. There's like a double, like a double
Yeah,
situation, right? So it's
it
like,
is. It is.
yeah,
And it's horrible. It's
Yes.
horrible. The human race is called human being.
Right.
Human being, where the operative word is being.
Hmm.
But today's word is human doing. And we always have to do something. Take away the
Right.
iPad from a 9-year-old. Then what am I going to do now? What am I going to do
Oh
now? Where's
yeah.
my iPad? What am I going to do now? We'll just go
Oh
play. I
man.
want my iPad.
Exactly. Yeah.
We'll just
My son's.
go
Yeah.
for a walk. Take a bike. No, where's
That's
my iPad? It's always about doing something. And it's
exactly.
about getting a reward. Children today, they know if I make this course, I get an extra life or I
Oh
get some
yes.
sort of reward. And, when it comes out to the real life, just because you made the task doesn't mean you're going to get a raise. You're not going to get a reward just because you did that task. So
Right.
it sort of messes kids up. They think they're going to get a reward every time they do something. But it doesn't
Well,
work like
yeah.
that in real life.
But yeah, but that's the parenting I'm being taught too. Like, oh, growing up is more like is more discipline. Like for is like it's tough love, right? So if I don't get the A, oh man, you get disciplined. Oh, if you don't do good in school, you're not listening to your teachers, or you're being bad, you get disciplined. Now it's like, oh, we got to encourage them to do the right thing. Oh, uh, try to do good on your class. You get a sticker, or you get a yeah, you get some screen time, right? And then be good at school, eat your lunch, right? And then maybe we'll buy that toy or whatever. Buy some Roblox, sorry, from your game,
Yeah.
or some credits, whatever, from on your game, and you're saying that 9-year-old kid. My son's 9 years old, so I totally relate when you're saying like you take the. It was just yesterday. I was like, oh, I was upset because he was my son's also autistic, so he was not paying attention to his therapist, and then he also had piano class, and he wasn't paying attention there, uh, and then of course whether it was the right thing to do or not, you can you can judge me on that, but I said no screen time after, like it's more of a discipline, right? So and then I was like, oh, now he's crying, and he's like, oh, like I did the worst thing to him, like he's calling me names, and like, oh, I just took your iPad. There's so much. I didn't take your toys away. I mean, I just stopped that there. Like you still have your toys to play with that you told me you wanted. Like we got so many. He loves Transformers. We have so many Transformer toys. He doesn't want to play with them. He wants his iPad. It's like, oh well, like yes, the whole point. It is a discipline, but then you have other stuff to do. It's not like the end of the world here. The whole thing is taking something away in hopes that you um learn something, so pay attention in class, or uh don't goof around when there's the behavioral therapist is here. You're supposed to be doing the activity, not goofing around or causing a ruckus or something. But that's the so.
You're gonna follow me to get my cord because I'm out of
Yeah.
battery, so I gotta
Oh
get my
yeah.
cord to
Oh, okay.
to get some more battery. I got this awful cold. Yeah, go
Oh
on.
yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, no worries. Yeah. So what I was trying to say is, yeah, so is there better things? So that's the planting the seed part. So my question would be for you, and maybe you could shed some light. This is a good topic for discussion. Is what
You froze
direction
again.
is froze again? I'm sorry. I don't know what's
Yeah,
going
you
on.
froze again. Your question was, and then you froze.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't ask the question yet, but the question would be, what direction would you prefer, or maybe a whole new third direction? So there's two directions I was talking about. One was discipline, and one was rewarding. So I feel in the past my parents more disciplined, and now when I'm a parent right now, as a parent right now, I'm I'm more being taught, or society is telling me I need to be more reward the child so that he or she does what you want him to do, or her, or they'll listen. Like reward them so they'll listen. Where before it was scare the scare the living daylights out of them so that they'll listen. So what way is better? Both ways are not good. We should go a third route.
Oh my God. That's a question. The book I wrote is not about one way or the other. It doesn't take up the subject of raising a child at all because
I see.
that is so personal. But
Yes.
I and as you said, it's a paradigm shift.
Right.
It was used to be punishment and just with a ruler and you slap them. If you move
Right.
back a couple of years, it was punishment, punishment. With a
Right.
ruler in school and everything like that. Everything was punishment for doing something wrong. And now we're over pampering the kids.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a thin line to do what's correct, but
Yeah.
it's definitely. I don't think that they should be punished because of their behavior, because we have to remember now this children's brain is not developed. It's not
Right.
fully functional. They don't know what to do. They don't understand, and especially okay. Let's do okay. So children today get a lot of
Right. Yes.
input from school, input from the iPad, input from anywhere. So
Yes.
the input will come into the brain in the back part of the brain.
Right.
So all the input comes back to the centers in the back of the brain.
Yes.
Hearing, visual area, stuff that's all located in the back part of your brain.
Yes.
Now, the prefrontal cortex, which is your front part of the brain, that is where you sort of get uh, how do you say it? Uh, you get the input comes to the back of the brain. The output will then, so the back of the brain will now communicate with the frontal lobe, the front part, and then you can act accordingly. The problem is that sometimes that connection between the back part of the brain and the front part of the brain is disconnected. Then the child is going to have low self-esteem, it's going to have anger management issues. So it's not as simple as just okay, just be kind, just be you know it's more complicated than just answering the question discipline or no discipline, love or no love. I
Right.
would prefer love, of course, but we can't go pampering, especially if you got a child that whose brain is not communicating
Right.
left, right, up, down, back, front. There's three different communications in the brain. So if the communication is off, it doesn't matter. They're going to be frustrated, not because you did something wrong, but they cannot express it. So they get the
Okay.
input in the back, but how they express it is in the front. So if that communication is broken, then the child cannot express it, and they're going to be angry, they're going to be frustrated, they're going to lash out.
Oh, okay.
And the parents then will take it that they did something bad, but it's normally it's just the connection in the brain is not functioning.
Ah, I see.
And for that, you can do exercises with the child. I would suggest if you work with children, if you listen to this, you work with children. If you're a kindergarten teacher, for example,
Hmm.
always do 10, 15 minutes a day doing exercises for the child's brain communication.
Oh,
Easy
okay.
stuff. You go online and look for brain gym,
Okay.
brain gym.
Brain
Tons
gym.
of different exercises. They're gonna look stupid when we as parents look at them and say, "What is this crap?" Just like I did with training sacral. What is
Right.
this? This is
Yes.
BS. If you stand there doing this, it's bullshit. But
Right.
but it helps.
Okay.
So brain gym is something that every parent should do with a child uh, every day,
Every
at
day.
least 10 minutes a day, and make it fun. For example, I've had kids and grown-ups who
Right.
has now developed the left and right brain hemisphere communication. So left
Oh,
brain
okay.
and right brain hemisphere cannot talk to each other.
Right.
So the left side of the brain is the analytical part. It analyzes everything. and it goes with facts, and it's fairly square, like German people. They're very
Okay.
square.
Yeah.
And the right side of the brain is where the emotion, the dance, the rhythm, everything like that that's the right side of the brain. So
Right.
if you're stuck in the left side of the brain, you keep analyzing everything, and you can't see the whole puzzle because you overanalyze everything.
Yes.
On the other hand, if you're stuck in the right side of the brain, you keep talking to yourself, and you talk to yourself, and but you cannot get the whole picture because these two brains cannot, they can't, they can't communicate. So you need a full brain communication. So, for example, I've had adults that has skipped this development when they were a child, between 6 months and 1 year.
Yeah.
That part of the brain develops. So if you skip that part, if the child is skipping the crawling stage,
Right.
at 6 months, the child is supposed to crawl on all four. But
Okay.
a lot of parents, they want the kid to walk as soon as possible. So they raise the kid up and walk.
Right.
That means they're going to skip that because that crawling part is when the left and right brain hemispheres are communicating. So if
Right.
you skip that, you skip that part of the brain, and that is going to cause a lot of ADHD problem, ADD problem, a lot of shit problem in the child later on. So I've had adults that their home exercise is you're going to crawl 7 meters or 7 yards in 7 minutes, and you cannot stop.
Okay.
So the home exercise is to crawl on the floor 7 minutes, 7 yards every day. And
Every day.
that's so the brain can still work, still the brain can still function after that, even though they skipped it when they were young.
Uh,
That part of the brain can still develop if you do the exercises correct.
so you're saying doing that at an adult age? Or what are you
Yes,
saying?
yes, yes,
Oh,
for
so
sure.
there's still exercises. So we skip all that. You know, say we have bad parents, or say ourselves we are bad parents, and our kids grow
Yeah,
up missing a few steps, but there's still some saving grace there. There's still some exercises they could do to help bridge the communication gap
yeah, the communication.
with
Yeah,
some exercises.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. The brain communication is definitely stuff that we can help with.
Okay.
The seeds that were planted, for example, in Sarah's brain,
Yes.
that might not be able to do that easily. That you need to go and see somebody that actually can work with that, and that those are very, very, very few people that can work with that.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Do you have any ideas? Okay, this might be a very controversial topic. Do you think but I wanted to ask about it because my son is autistic. So when it comes to autism, there's people on both sides of it. Some say it's, you're born, it's chemical or whatnot. Some people say it's a almost like a choice or something, or it has to do with, let's say, how you raise them, maybe a little seed planting or something. So do you think it's more like they're lacking some steps in their when growing up, like say they forced to walk instead of crawl, like your example, where maybe us parents missed a step here, told them to drink from a cup before, and skip that drinking from a bottle type of thing. Is that something uh, you have any thoughts on, or is it something uh, you don't have any opinion on?
Well, I think it can be. I think that's different. Some are born with it,
Uh-huh.
and some are not born with it and develop it. And then we can maybe vaccination can have an impact.
Mm-hmm.
Some are pro-vaxxers, some are not pro-vaxxers. The
Right.
people that are against vaccine, they
Yes.
blame the vaccine for a lot of this stuff. I don't
Right.
have an
That's true
opinion
too.
about this. I don't have an opinion about it. Well, I have an opinion about it, but if it's relevant or not, I don't know. But for
Right.
me, I don't see anybody whenever I see a client, I don't treat their symptoms. I treat them as I try to just get their body to function as good as they can, whether or not
Right.
it's exercises or mental things. I've had tons of autistic kids on my table as well, and
Okay.
I just try to get them to function as good as they can. How they came to be where they are today, there's no universal answer to that. As
Okay.
parents, we shouldn't blame ourselves as parents, because if they skip that stage of crawling, for example, that
Right.
is not the cause for autism.
Right. Okay.
No.
Okay.
ADD,
Thank you.
ADHD, yes, that can be the cause of or dyslexia as well. That can be due to the lack of crawling between 6 and 12 months.
Oh,
But
interesting.
autism, no.
No. Okay. Okay. Well, I was just, I'm just curious, I was just throwing that out there. See, you know, food for thought. That's
Yeah,
it.
shoot,
Right?
shoot.
Right?
I told you,
Hey, we're
I,
just
I
having
told
a,
you before. You can, any topic is fine. Just
yeah.
fire away with the questions.
No worries. Yeah, we're just having a fun, casual conversation here, just sharing our opinions, that's what we uncles like to do, right? Especially on the
Yeah,
holidays, we just like to give our 2 cents about
yeah,
everything.
yeah. True.
But yes, but it's good that we have experience with this, especially you have a lot of experience, especially with you know the healing that I mean not the healing, the chiropractic practice, and then but what stemmed you? Just curious, because that's sort of a for me, because I can't maybe I have a big gap between my left and the right. So how did you go from you know practicing being a chiropractor and this your practice and jumping all the way to your to the book of planting seeds for child development. Like how did that
Good question.
yeah.
Good question. Good question. When I started in 1994, I became a sports massage therapist only,
Right.
and I worked for 7 years in sports massage, and I did pretty good. I was involved with top level players and teams,
Mm-hmm.
and I was as good as a sports therapist as I could be.
Oh, nice.
So then after 7 years, I thought to myself, I'm either going to quit or I'm going to, go on in life. So I had two choices: either become a chiropractor or become
Mm-hmm.
an orthopedic surgeon. Those were the only two things that I wanted to do. And or to become an orthopedic surgeon is 11 years before I can be an orthopedic surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
And a chiropractic college is only 5 years. So I said, now I'm going to do
Half the
chiropractic.
time.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then I started chiropractic. And remember, when you're a sports massage therapist, it's not about soft and, you hear uh, dolphins making love in the water in the background. It's hard. It's tough. And if
Yeah.
you want sympathy, buy a fucking parrot. It's
Yeah.
not. It's tough. It's hard.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I'm supposed to get the athlete to come back. And
Okay. Yes. Yes.
chiropractic is also very square. This. And
Right.
but at the same time, I started to do chiropractic college. I went to a kinesiology course. Well, I did one in 1994 as well, and then I started kinesiology as well. So, I did chiropractic college in the daytime, and then the kinesiology in the evening. So
Right.
I took parallel courses. Now the difference between kinesiology and chiropractic is more like German, square.
Right.
When
Yeah.
when kinesiology is more like you sit there and around the campfire singing "Kumbaya, my lord." So it's two different worlds,
Yeah.
completely different worlds. So and I came from the hard one. Boom, boom, boom. Do it. Oh shit! I'm low battery here as well.
Oh,
So
okay.
I came from that hard stuff. Just Yeah, bite the pillow. Bite the pillow. It's not. It's
Right.
gonna hurt you. Okay.
Okay.
Let me do that and just change the second here because I'm running low on battery on all parts now.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So remember I told you about the craniosacral one?
Yes.
Let me just do something here. Are you still with me?
Oh, yeah. I'm still with you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh,
What
no
happened
worry.
to? I'm trying to arrange things here. I ran out of battery. I was supposed to get the batteries done before, but I forgot about that.
Oh, okay.
That's
No
me.
worries. It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very easy going here. So yeah, whatever we need to do. Yeah.
You,
And sorry,
you
maybe
can
I'm
come.
carrying the conversation for too long. So
No, no, no. It's
draining your
okay. No.
battery.
Well, I had battery, but I thought, "Oh, this is gonna last," but I guess I was wrong. Anyway, so remember I told you about the craniosacral stuff? When I
Yes.
sat there and I just held the sacrum, I said, "What kind of crap is this?" But
Yes.
I did kinesiology, and so basically I kept about 10% of all the information in the kinesiology course, which I
Right.
thought was good. And in the beginning, craniosacral was not one of them, but
Right.
later on I found that it was really good. So I started to just be a practice. Well, during chiropractic college, I worked the whole time as well as a massage therapist on different,
Right.
this Broadway, Broadway.
Yes.
In Sweden, there's about the same streets as Broadway, and
Okay.
I worked at these theaters as massage therapist. And during that, when I did chiropractic college and kinesiology, I sort of started to mix everything together. And so then I started to develop my own technique, which
Uh-huh.
was very physical to start with. It was
Right.
only structural to start with. But then the more I learned, the more I understood about the body, the more I realized that it has to do with the brain. The brain it has to do with the brain. So I started to do more mental and emotional stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then I went from there to say, okay, but where does that come from? It has to start somewhere. It has to, it can't just by random. So I
Right.
started to read about the brain development, and I started to understand how the brain function and the different stages in life when in childhood when the brain develops. So it's an involvement of maybe 20 years from
Wow.
yeah. So it's an evolving process.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Okay. Well, so how about some fun questions? As we
Yes.
get towards the end. I was wondering. I don't know if you can share, but is there any since you said you're a did sports therapy, any famous players or famous well-known teams uh, that you work for? Is it you work for or sort of practice on? I don't know the term.
I
I don't know if you could take
worked with the
explain.
Swedish national teams in table tennis. I worked with all the major stars in table tennis. I worked with a lot of professional golfers on the
Okay.
Asian tour. You wouldn't know any of them. I worked with a lot of
Okay.
professional tennis players, not any world famous ones, with a
Right.
lot of golfers. Golfers, I said, also here in Spain. I've mostly done educated stuff, like Manchester City and Everton, for example, and the English national rugby team. Uh,
Hmm.
but I haven't treated them because when you deal with these kind of clubs, that's players that are worth millions.
Yes.
You need a certain insurance to do that. And since I wasn't employed by them, I was only there as an instructor.
Right.
I didn't have that, so I had to stand next to them and see my students do it because I couldn't do it. Because if they were
I
injured
see.
when I did it, it wouldn't be covered. And we're talking
Oh, I
millions
see.
and millions and millions of pounds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the
definitely.
players today are incredible. It's the amount of money.
Mm,
Yeah, it's incredible.
interesting. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. I did had a because I'm into basketball and recently NBA I just read an article. The big injury focus this year has been the calf strains. Uh, if you had a client, let's say in professional basketball and had calf strains, what would your treat I guess treatments be or something to help them? Is that
Yeah. First
something
of
that
all,
you?
the calf strain is maybe the fifth or sixth domino.
Oh, okay.
That's usually not the one that is impaired. So let's go back to the hip flex and hip extensor talk.
Okay.
Sorry, in Spain we got this thing called winter now, and we all got a cold here for some reason. And
Oh,
I got
no,
a
no
cough
worries.
thing. I got a cough thing. That's all I have. So
Oh, yeah.
so let's say we go back to that. The hip flexor is going to be very strong.
Right.
And in basketball, any sports like that, it's about speed. It's about the
Right.
first 6, 7 yards. You have to be fast. Boom.
Yeah.
So you practice a lot of speed things.
Yes.
In any sport, in handball, in basketball, in baseball, you have to run fast. You can't just run slow. So it's a lot of
Right.
dynamic about running fast, being explosive. So you work out your hip flexors a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So if so, then the hip extensor, the glute max, for you nerds out there, the glute max is going to be too
Yes.
weak. So then
Okay.
I told you, then the glute medius is going to help, and the glute
Mm-hmm.
medius is supposed to keep the pelvis like this. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm trying to show it. So
Okay.
if
Trying to
this
picture
glute
it.
medius here is too weak, it's going to go like this. It's going
Okay.
to wobble. The pelvis is going to wobble,
Okay.
and when that wobbles, the femur bone is going to sink down. It's going to put strain on the knee. Normally, the power, the weight will come straight. But
Right.
if your knee buckles, it comes a little bit different. So
Okay.
if the knee buckles in only a quarter of an inch, the knee buckles in a quarter of an inch, the impact is going to come a quarter of an inch too far out to the calf. So then
Okay.
the calf is going to take the strain because now that has to take the power or the not the power, but the weights. No, the weight's not correct either. But I think you understand what I mean anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because if
Yeah.
the knee
The
buckles just a
pressure.
little bit, the pressure is going to come half an inch, a quarter of an inch too far out. So the calf now has to work differently than it's supposed to, and then the injury will come in the calf.
Ah, I see. Okay.
So it's because these athletes are very very fit and they work out.
Right.
Their calves are a lot stronger than yours and
Yes.
mine.
Yes.
But so
Yes.
it doesn't have anything to do with strength. It has to do with pressure. With I'm looking for a word I can't find.
That stress? I don't know.
Yeah, I can't find the word. The oh jeez, it's late. It's 11:30 here
Oh,
in the morning. It's late
okay.
now, guys. Bedtime soon. No, I'm just
Yes.
joking.
It's my bedtime, so
Uh, so
it's
so
like
uh,
in the AM right now. It's like around 2 a.m. or something.
the problem is that the therapist in that team is
Yes.
only going to look at the calf and they're
Right.
going to try to get the calf stronger and stronger and
Right.
stronger. But if you don't adjust the pressure, where that pressure is going to come,
Right.
uh, then it's going to re-injure itself again because if the
Right.
hip keeps wobbling and then the
Yes.
femur goes it's supposed to go like this. I'm showing the audience now. So if the knee buckles a little bit like this,
Yes.
it buckles like that, and then the strain is going to come a little further down on either on your foot, and you can get a foot injury, or in your calf muscles.
Okay. All right.
So you have to figure. As a therapist, you have to figure out why is it injured, uh,
Why is
and
it injured?
once you figure out. Okay, have you ever heard of Simon Sinek before?
That I have not.
Simon Sinek, that's something I strongly suggest that you and the audience listen to. He's very, very good. He has something called, he has got a circle. I can't remember what the name is of the circle now, but there are actually three circles. The
Okay.
outer circle is what, and then there's in the middle circle is how, and there's a small circle in the middle called why. So it starts with
Okay.
out one, what, how, and why. So in advertisement, for example, you start with what you have. You have a car. how is it different than the other cars, or how it has four wheels, it has supercharged, blah blah blah. But that doesn't answer the question why you want to buy that car. So
Right.
as a therapist, a regular therapist starts with what? What do they have? Well, they have a calf problem. And then they go to, how am I going to do it? Well, I'm going to do electrodes, I'm going to do acupuncture, I'm going to do TNS, I'm going to physiotherapy. That's the
Right.
how. But
Right.
but then they don't think about why. So I encourage all therapists to start the treatment with why. Why is this
Why?
why is this an issue? And go from why to how you can help them, and then
Oh,
what to do. So it's
okay.
different going from outside in or inside out.
So inside out. Oh, okay. Wow.
And
Okay.
Simon Sinek, his video is very short. He's viral. He is so huge, and I strongly suggest you look at that because that has to do with everything. Has to do with why. Everything is why.
Why?
It always starts with why.
Why it's happening? Why
Yeah,
is it
actually,
happening?
if you go online and just type in, it starts with why. Always starts with why. You're probably going to get his video straight away.
Okay. All right. I'll look that up after this.
Strong
Okay.
suggestion for
So
everybody.
I have a why question for you. So why did you end up this week personal one? Why did you end up in or staying in right now you're in Spain, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Why did you choose that as your current living territory?
yeah. When I was 20, I moved to the US by
Right.
myself and stayed there for 5 years.
Uh-huh.
And then I came home to Sweden and I didn't like it at all. So I moved to
Right.
Greece, then to Spain, then to Turkey, then to Denmark.
Right.
So I was basically living my between 20 and 28. I basically lived abroad.
Okay.
And when I came back, I never felt Swedish. I never felt like a normal Swede
Okay.
because after 8 years of being abroad, I
Right.
didn't really feel Swedish like the other ones. I felt more international. Uh,
Ah, I see. Yes.
and we had me and my ex-wife had some issues about meeting people. We were really good hosts, everything,
Right.
and we were very generous and we're very outspoken about everything. Whereas
Yes.
politics or vaccine issues or immigration issues, whatever issues we have, we always set our mind.
Right.
And some people didn't like that, and we figured after a while, why do people like not? Because we always had to call them. Come on, let's do something. We were never called upon. So then
Uh-huh.
we had a friend of ours that came from the UK,
Right.
and we told her why, and it's because you guys are not Swedish. She was English. You know,
Right.
you guys are not Swedish. You're not typical Swedish. You're more international, and Swedish people find that very intimidating. I
Oh.
never thought about it. Never thought about it, but that's what she said. And so when I met my wife, I said to my wife, my ex-wife now, I said, if you want to be with me, you have to be prepared that I will not stay in Sweden the rest of my life.
Mm.
I want to move abroad. I want to be in a warmer country. I
Right.
want to be, having a better life than in Sweden. And
Right.
so then we sort of, she said, okay. So we looked at different options. We had a list of 6 or 7 lists. One, the sun. We needed the sun. So Iceland and Finland was gone straight away. And
Okay.
we needed a place where we can either learn the language fairly simple, fairly fast,
Right.
or they can speak English.
Right.
So Thailand went away straight away, and
Yeah.
so we narrowed everything down, and eventually it came that Spain is our best option when we had
Oh,
all
interesting.
it ticks most boxes. So then we
Uh-huh.
were to move to Tenerife. Tenerife is an island outside Africa, where I
Uh-huh.
lived and worked there as well as a tour operator. So I lived there for a while, and so
Uh-huh.
we decided to move to Tenerife. But then a couple of months before, my ex-wife said, "But listen, if we move to Tenerife, which is an island, there's no future for our children. They're gonna end up dating a 19-year-old drugged down Irish bartender." I said, "Yeah, you know what? You're right." So then we said, "Okay, let's go to the mainland."
Right.
And we were set on moving to Marbella and open up the clinic in Marbella, but we ended
Uh,
up 20 minutes from Marbella, where the Swedish school was. So that's how we ended up in Spain.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Because yeah, even for me, yeah, born here in America, but I was thinking, well, the reason for me, I want to move abroad too. I did try to live in Taiwan, but it was just hard to get a job there for me. Maybe it's because it's very the market's not that big. Actually, the salary's pretty low too. So and plus I was disabled, so it was hard getting a job outside. So then I come back. I have to make my living back in my original country. So, and maybe when I retire, maybe I gotta save up a little, and then I can move somewhere else. But that's sort of always interested in what how other people decide on where they reside. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's why I asked.
I'm on my 15th year now abroad.
Oh, 15 year. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, got some catching up. I got some catching up.
Well, I'm almost
But
60, so you got time.
yeah, okay. All right. Yes, you got a few years ahead of me, right? So
Yeah.
that's good. That's good. Well, thank you so much for joining us. But yeah, towards the end of the show, we always like to ask our guests if they want to share sort of a nugget of wisdom, sort of a take-home message to the audience. So, for you, do you have anything you want to sum up? Something sort of like a take-home message that the audience could, again, take home and ponder about?
Oh, I have to try to act like I actually know something now, so I can say something else.
It's okay. Just fake it till you make it, right? It's okay.
I know. Well, fake it till you make it. That's one. uh, I think that we shouldn't judge so fast. Today's world is very, very unsettling. Things that are going on in the world are not, we tend to judge too fast, about the Israel and the Palestine thing. There's tons of things going on in life that the media will write it in a certain way. So we just be open to, just maybe it's not 100% true what they write in the media. They have an agenda, and they write about it is either what is pro-Israeli or pro-Palestine or
Yes.
pro-Ukraine or whatever you write there. Be aware that maybe this, just be open to get your own opinion, form your own opinion, and not based on what they say on the news, because they
That's
say
good.
what they say on the news is was steered or in a certain way. For example, let's make an example. In the Russian media, this is many years ago. In the
Mm-hmm.
Russian media, the Russians had a car called Lada, Lada, Lada. That's a Russian car, and the
Uh-huh.
Russians said that's way better than Chevrolet. So they challenged Chevrolet in a run,
Mm-hmm.
and of course the Chevrolet did flip flops with that Lada. It just destroyed him.
Right.
But in the Russian media, it said that the Lada came on an honorable second place, while the
Uh-huh.
Chevrolet came second to last.
Okay.
What they didn't mention was that it was only two cars in the race.
Right.
But they put it that the Lada came an honorable second place, while the
Right.
Chevrolet came second to last. But it was only two
It's like
cars. So,
right.
facts can be twisted and turned. So be
Right.
open when it comes to war, vaccine, anything. Form your own opinion about things, and don't. If people have another opinion, just be patient with them. They're entitled to their opinion. They're not bad people just because they're pro this or pro that. That's their
Yes.
opinion. Let them have their opinion and form your own opinion.
That's
You
true.
understand what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. 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 Definitely. Yeah. Just like you were saying in the beginning of the episode. Make sure you check uh question the chiropractor that's working on you, right? But then
Yeah.
again, with your example, if I'm racing and there's just two of us and I come in last, which is second, I would still say I came in second.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I would still say that.
And and and
Oh,
and, and one more thing that I just thought of now. It's being a therapist. A lot of times people say, "Well, don't you get affected by everything?" Because I have people that tried to kill themselves yesterday. I got people who post-traumatic stress syndrome. I got people that had the children died in the tsunami. I got
mhm.
clients that are really, 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 really emotional wrecks. And some clients ask me, so what, don't you get affected by everything like this? You worked with this for 30 years? I said, no, not really. Because uh, I I came to a point, maybe I was when your age, or maybe just a little bit older than you. I came to a point that everybody has expectations of me. You have expectations of me. My ex-wife had expectations of me. My ex-ex-wife had expectations of me. My kids has expectation of me. My clients has expectation of me. My buddies have expectations of me. Everybody that I know has expectations of me. If I try to be every to get them all to to be happy and try to live up to their expectations, what happens to me? So I decided one day, I said, no, you know what? I'm just going to be me. I'm
Right.
just going to be me. I don't care what people think about me. I'm going to be me. And as long as I can go to bed every night saying, today I did as good as I could. I might not have helped everybody, but I didn't sell any extra treatments. I didn't
Yes.
fool them. I did my best to try to help them, and that's all I can do. How they perceive me, I cannot influence that. I can only
Right.
do the best I can, and how other people perceive me, I can't influence that. So
Right.
just be yourself. Don't worry about what other people think about you. That's their problem. It's their opinion. We can't change that.
Right.
We can only affect ourselves and being as
That's
good
true.
person as we can be, whether it's a spouse, a parent, a co-worker, whatever. Be as good person as you can be, and let other people judge you.
There
And
we go. Okay.
you can't influence how they perceive you. You can only influence yourself.
There.
It's
That's
called
good. That's good.
in NLP. It's called change others by changing yourself.
That's true. That's true.
So you can only
Yeah, I like.
influence yourself how you are.
Yes, I say you can only control yourself. You can only control
Exactly.
yourself. So you can't control
Yeah,
other
you can't
people and how
control
they think.
what other people think or do.
Exactly. So that's very good. I love that. I love that. Well, thank you again, Mike, for joining us. I'd just like to close
Thank
out the
you.
show. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Again, like and subscribe. And remember, sharing is caring. And again, Mike, hopefully have you back on the show. Again, I think we got a lot more things to discuss and brainstorm about. So thank
Yeah,
you again.
we scraped the surface at least.
Exactly. Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you again.